pride parade proposal gone wrong. Let me start by saying this. Falling for Sam was not part of the plan. I mean, I had a plan, a good one. Graduate college, get a decent job, maybe adopt a dog, and live a quiet, drama-free life. But then this guy came into my life like a hurricane in a leather jacket, and suddenly my plans were toast, and honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. It all started at a coffee shop because of course it did. I was standing in line, minding my own business, when this guy, tall, dark-haired, with a smile that could melt Antarctica, cut in front of me. I was about to unleash my inner Karen when he turned around, looked me dead in the eye and said, "Sorry, but I'm late for a meeting with my cat. She's very demanding." I blinked. "Your cat?" "Yeah," he said, grinning. "She's my boss, pays me in cuddles and hairballs. You should try it sometime." And just like that, I was done for. His name was Sam, and he was chaos wrapped in charm. He worked as a freelance graphic designer, which meant he had the kind of schedule that made my 9-to-5 job look like a prison sentence. He was spontaneous, loud, and unapologetically himself. I, on the other hand, was the human equivalent of a spreadsheet, organized, predictable, and slightly boring. We shouldn't have worked. I was an overthinker, and he was a do-it-or-die kind of human. But we kept bumping into each other. At coffee shops, bookstores, the gym, places I swore he didn't even belong. The universe had jokes, and apparently, I was the punchline. Eventually, we exchanged numbers. At first, it was casual. Memes, sarcastic comments, the occasional, "I bet you're wearing a boring outfit right now," text from him. Then came the late-night conversations, the random calls just telling me something dumb. He made me laugh in ways I didn't know I could. He also made me feel something I wasn't used to. Our friends were our only support. My parents barely acknowledged my existence after I came out, and Sam's parents, well, let's just say they weren't sending him any Christmas cards either. But we had our people, my best friend, Jeff, who was my ride or die, and Sam's best friend, Max, who was as chaotic as he was. They saw it before we did, the way I looked at him, the way he looked at me, the way I'll let him get away with murder. Not literally, though. I'm sure if he asked nicely, I'd help him hide a body. The teasing started subtly. A lingering touch here, a playful shove there, a stare that lasted a second too long. One time we were watching a movie and he threw an arm over my shoulder like it was the most natural thing in the world. My heart malfunctioned. And then there was that one night at his apartment. He was sitting too close. I could feel the warmth of his skin and the faint smell of his cologne. He turned his head, his breath ghosting against my cheek. "You ever think about kissing me, Avery?" he asked. His voice low, teasing, but his eyes were serious. I swallowed, hard. "What kind of question is that?" He grinned. "An interesting one." I shoved him, laughing, and he laughed too. But something had changed. I knew it, and so did he. Then came the trek, the one where I allegedly went missing. It was supposed to be fun, just a weekend getaway with our friends, but halfway up the trail, I had the brilliant idea to mess with Sam. So, when we split up to explore different paths, I hid. Harmless prank, right? Wrong. 15 minutes later, I heard him shouting my name. His voice was raw, panicked. When I finally stepped out from behind a tree, grinning, his face turned to thunder. "What the hell is wrong with you?" he snapped, striding towards me. I opened my mouth to say something witty, but then he grabbed my face, his fingers digging into my jaw, and his eyes, God, his eyes were wild. "I thought you—" He cut himself off, exhaling sharply. "I couldn't find you, Avery, and I lost my goddamn mind." My heart hammered. It was a joke. Not to me. His hands trembled slightly as he let me go. "I can't do this if you don't take this seriously." "Do what?" I whispered. He let out a bitter laugh. "Loving you." My breath caught. "Sam." "No, shut up." His voice cracked. "You drive me insane. You're stubborn, and you overthink everything, and you make lists for fun, and I love you, okay? I love you, and it scares the hell out of me because I never thought I'd feel this way about anyone, let alone you." Silence. Then very softly I said, "You love me?" His eyes searched mine. Yeah. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed his collar, pulled him in, and kissed him so hard I was sure we were defying several laws of physics. He kissed me back, like I was oxygen, like he'd been drowning this whole time and only just realized it. When we finally pulled apart, both our friends cheering and hooting for us, he rested his forehead against mine. Never scare me like that again. I smiled, breathless. I love you too, you idiot. And just like that, my plan was officially ruined in love, and I had never been happier. Life with Sam? A crazy roller coaster of grins, laughter, and enough chaos to fill an action movie. 8 months in, and every day feels like an impromptu dance party in the kitchen. Terrible karaoke performances, and cuddles so intense we both ended up drenched in sweat, like an old laptop overheating. Living together was equal parts dream and disaster. Waking up next to Sam was like waking up to the best song on the radio. His messy hair and sleepy pout had training every time. But then, he managed to turn our apartment into a hurricane zone, leaving his stuff everywhere, his cat following his foot, and I'd trip over his sneakers like I was on an obstacle course. He'd roll his eyes and throw out an overdramatic, "Oh, forgive me, your highness, for existing." And don't even get me started on his mood swings. When the freelancing gigs were good, he was a literal ray of sunshine, but when work was slow, he'd get all philosophical and say things like, "Do we even need Wi-Fi, Avery? We could just live off the land like modern-day hippies." Yeah, sure, buddy. Sure, we fought. Real fights. The kind where Sam's death glares could probably melt steel. But honestly, we could never stay mad for long. He'd sneak his foot onto my side of the bed, and I'd nag him about toothpaste caps. Just the usual. But through it all, I knew Sam was it. The way he made me laugh even when things weren't funny, how he always sensed when something was wrong before I did, and the way he'd get up to fetch me water when I couldn't move. He was the one. So of course, I had to propose. Sam had confessed first, so now it was my turn to surprise him. What better place than the Pride Parade? Full of love, energy, and rainbows. Perfect for a grand gesture. Months of planning, the speech perfect, the ring tucked safely in my pocket, like it was made of solid gold. My mind was already on the perfect moment, down on one knee, Sam's eyes wide in shock, then a crowd of cheers and kisses that would probably be illegal in some places. Everything was going perfectly. Sam was laughing beside me, Max and Jeff bantering among themselves behind us, unaware of what was coming, then, boom, chaos. Anti-LGBTQ protesters stormed in, waving their hateful signs, and the whole scene shifted from celebration to tension in a heartbeat. Bodies surged everywhere, and in the panic, Sam's hand slipped from mine. My heart raced and I spun in circles looking for him, our friends, but all I saw were angry faces and rainbow flags clashing with hateful signs. And then I realized my pocket was lighter. Oh no. The ring was gone. I frantically checked my pockets, hoping maybe I'd managed, but no. Empty. Panic set in. My world flipped until Sam found me. His face was etched with worry. "Avery, baby, are you okay?" I'm fine." I couldn't even look him in the eye, my gaze blurred with tears. It's nothing." "Hey, don't cry, I got you." Sam consoled me by hugging me, but I felt helpless and guilty for losing the ring. I couldn't shake the feeling that losing the ring at that moment was some sort of cosmic sign. Like the universe was screaming, "Don't do it, Avery, this is a bad omen." I felt like the universe had just given me the worst possible sign, and at that moment, I wasn't sure whether I should even bother proposing anymore. I couldn't shake off the feeling from the Pride Parade, like the universe was screaming at me, telling me to stop. The ring, my proposal ring, was gone, and that couldn't have been a coincidence. I kept telling myself that if it didn't happen, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe it was a sign, who knows, but it left me paralyzed, especially around Sam. Sam, he had no idea. He just saw me pulling away, getting quieter, avoided him more. At first he didn't say anything. Just tried to make me laugh like he always did. The jokes, the goofy little things, inviting friends over for a movie night and cooking my favorite food. but they felt hollow. I couldn't bring myself to smile, not for him, not for anyone. He would surprise me with flowers one day and a coffee run the next, but nothing worked. I could feel his frustration growing, the way his eyes would search mine like he was hoping to find some piece of me that wasn't gone. But I didn't know how to tell him. How could I explain that I had just lost the moment I had been planning for so long? One evening, we sat on the couch, his cat, Bella, snuggling on my shoulder. The silence hung heavy between us. Sam shifted, glancing at me and then away, like he didn't know what to do. "You've been distant lately," he finally said softly. "You okay?" I nodded, even though I wasn't. "Yeah, just tired." Sam let out a small sigh, a little too heavy for just tired. "If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine, but you've been acting different since the parade. It's like you're slipping away from me, Avery." I winced. He wasn't wrong, but I couldn't tell him the truth. Not now. "I'm fine," I repeated, the words tasting empty. He didn't seem convinced, but he didn't push it either. A few days later, it hit the fan. We were in the bedroom, and the lost ring haunted me. My overthinking ass couldn't forget how it went missing from my pocket. It lingered in my mind, like an itch I couldn't scratch. If I stayed alone, if I retraced every step from that chaotic day at the Pride Parade, the moment the anti-LGBTQ protesters stormed in, the way everything became a blur of panic and movement, maybe I could remember where it had fallen. Maybe it was still out there, waiting to be found. Thought consumed me. I exhaled, grabbing a pillow and a comforter. Maybe a night alone in the other room, away from distractions, would help me think clearly. Just as I reached for the door, Sam's voice broke through the quiet. "Where are you going?" I tensed. I didn't want to have this conversation. "I just need space." Silence. Then Sam's voice was sharp and raw. "Space?" I just had the thought of the ring in my mind and wanted to get it back anyhow. The desperation was to the extent that it was drowning me in overthinking, like I was beating a dead horse. "Avery, what's going on with you, baby? What's this about?" He was standing now, moving towards me with that confused desperation in his eyes. "You've been pulling away. I've been trying everything. I don't know what's happening, but this isn't you." I wanted to explain, to tell him everything, but I couldn't find the words. I feel lost, Sam. I need space." The words sounded pathetic as they left my mouth. Sam stared at me, disbelief washing over his face. "Space? Since when do we need space? What's happening, Avery? I'm right here." "You don't get it," I said, voice breaking. "It's just, I need to think something, Sam." I knew how my words sounded twisted. I hated this. Hated that I couldn't make him understand, that I couldn't even understand myself. My overthinking was drawing us apart over something stupid. "You're being distant. You won't even tell me what's going on," Sam's voice cracked. "Avery, if you don't love me anymore, just say it. Stop torturing me, okay? Just tell me." I froze. His words hit harder than anything. I could barely breathe. Did he really think that? That I didn't love him? That this was about something like that? But he's not wrong to question. I was a mess right now. I need space for myself, Sam." My voice was barely a whisper. I need time." Sam let out a humorous laugh, stepping back. "Time? That's it? You need time to figure this out? Fine. You've got all the time in the world, Avery. You can have the whole house. You can have all the space you want." The hurt in his voice was almost unbearable. "You figure it out. When you're done with whatever this is, let me know." He turned and stormed out, slamming the door behind him. I stood there, paralyzed, watching the empty space where he'd been. I don't know what was worse, losing the proposal ring or the fact that I'd just pushed him away. I was sulking, like truly especially sulking. The kind of sulking where you sink into the couch so deep that you start questioning if you're part of the furniture. Bella, Sam's cat, traitorous little gremlin, was curled up on my chest, purring as if she hadn't just witnessed the collapse of my entire relationship. I ran my hand over her fur, letting out a long sigh that could have powered a wind turbine. Jeff, meanwhile, was pacing my living room like a lawyer, about to present her case. "Let me get this straight," she said, flinging her arms around like some sort of motivational speaker. "You lost the ring, fine, that sucks, but it happens. But instead of telling Sam, you, what? Decided the universe was sending you a message and pushed him away?" I groaned on the couch. "When you say it like that, it sounds dumb." "It is dumb, Avery." Jeff threw a pillow at me, but Bella swiped at it midair like a tiny furry warrior. "You're the only thing Sam holds dear, and you told him you needed space? Of course he left. What did you think was going to happen? He'd stick around while you twist into your own head?" "Maybe," I muttered. "I don't know, Jeff. Maybe losing the ring was some kind of cosmic sign that I'm not supposed to propose." Jeff let out a strangled noise that was half a scream, half a laugh. "This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I once watched you put your phone in the freezer because it was overheating. It was overheating, and yet you were surprised when it wouldn't turn back on." Bella meowed in agreement. Traitor. Jeff threw herself onto the couch next to me, arms crossed. "You pushed away the best thing in your life because you lost a ring. Dude, that's like setting your house on fire because you lost the TV remote." I slumped further onto the couch. "I don't know how to fix it." Jeff rolled her eyes. "Well, step one is actually trying." "So, yeah, I'm here, trying, just like Jeff told me. 3 days, that's how long Sam had been gone. 3 days of sleeping alone in our bed, the sheets still faintly smelling like him. 3 days of making coffee and instinctively pouring an extra cup for him before remembering he wasn't there. 3 days after finding his hoodies scattered around the apartment like little ghosts of him haunting me. I missed him. God, I needed to see him, even if it was just for a second. I knew Sam crashed at Max's place, so I grabbed my phone and video called Max, who also probably hates me right now. Max answered after 3 rings. His face appeared on my screen. His expression immediately screamed, "Oh great, the idiot's called." "Oh, look who it is," Max said dryly. "Avery. I push away the love of my life for absolutely no reason, West." I sighed. "I take it you're mad at me too?" "Mad? Oh no, I'm furious." "Great, love that for me." Max gave me a long, unimpressed look. "Why are you calling?" I hesitated. I just wanted to know if Sam was okay. He's alive, if that's what you're asking." I opened my mouth, about to ask more, when something behind Max caught my eye. Sam. He was sitting on the couch in Max's apartment, talking to someone, but not just anyone. A guy. A charming guy with an easy smile and a confident posture, like he belonged in one of those cologne commercials where men stare broodingly at the ocean. Something in my chest clenched. "Who's that?" Max glanced over his shoulder. "Oh, he scratched the back of his neck. "That's Leo." "Leo? Leo? As in Sam's ex, Leo?" My stomach dropped. My brain went into full meltdown mode. I couldn't be seeing this right now. I heard Max saying something, maybe an explanation, but my ears were ringing. My vision blurred as my throat tightened. Before I could stop myself, I hung up the call. And then I sat there, staring at my phone, diving into a pit of overthinking and worst-case scenarios. Was Sam moving on already? With him? I wiped my eyes furiously. I didn't have the right to feel this way, did I? I was the one who pushed him away and told him I needed space, but I never wanted this. I never wanted him to find comfort in someone else's arms, especially not in his ex's. The moment my brain went into panic mode, I barely registered what I was doing before my fingers dialed Sam's number. He didn't pick up. My heart slammed against my ribs, breathing shallow. Before I knew it, I was outside, throwing myself into the car, hands trembling as I drove to Max's place. As I pulled into the driveway, my world tilted. Sam hugging Leo. I barely register my own breath hitching. My body moved before my brain could catch up, legs carrying me straight towards them, voice breaking through the air before I could rationalize. How could you? My voice was frenzied, raw and wounded. Sam turned, startled. For a split second, his lips parted in something like relief. Then my words settled and his face twisted into disbelief. What? How could you move on just like that? We're still together. I just needed time. But this? I gestured wildly. This is what you do when I ask for space? Leo took a step back, blinking. Wait, what? Max stepped onto the porch with confused eyes. What the hell is going on? But I wasn't done. The universe was giving me signs all along. First, the ring getting lost at the parade. Sam's brows knitted together. Ring? Does it even matter? I laughed hollowly. Because clearly I was the only idiot thinking we were still enough. Sam's voice cut through my hysteria like a whip. I flinched. The street fell into silence except for my raging breath as Sam stormed inside. For a second I didn't move, then he came back, jaw clenched, shoving something into my hands. A wedding invite. Leo weds Tristan. My mind blanked, everything static. Max groaned. I literally told you this on the video call, Avery. I blinked. You did? Leo, awkward as hell, cleared his throat. I wanted Sam at my wedding. We're friends. Oh God. I looked up, but Sam wasn't meeting my gaze, jaw tight. Leo mumbled a quick goodbye and fled, Max muttering about us needing to sort our mess before heading inside. That left me, and Sam. The silence was unbearable. I'm sorry, I whispered. But before I could say any more, Sam stepped closer and I instinctively dropped my gaze. What less did I do? He murmured, voice low. For you to have such little faith in me. I swallowed. Sam. I really thought, he continued, voice shaking, you were here to take me back, but now I don't even know if I want to come back. Panic shot through me. No, Sam, that's not... I know you love me, but what, Avery? His eyes burned into mine. This is the last time I'm asking, what's bothering you? I opened my mouth, closed it. My mind was tangled in knots. Sam exhaled shakily, his eyes misted with unshed tears. I thought we were forever, Avery, his voice cracked. But maybe I was wrong. The words punched the air from my lungs. My breath hitched as he turned toward the house. Wait, Sam, you don't understand. Then explain it to me, he shouted, hands thrown up in frustration. I froze, unable to explain. Disbelief flickered across his face before he scoffed, shaking his head and walking inside. The door shut. I stood there, helpless, heart in pieces, watching the distance between us grow wider. I was losing my mind, plain and simple. It had been a week, 7 whole days since Sam walked out, and every second felt like a slow, agonizing eternity. The house was eerily silent without him. His side of the bed remained cold, his coffee mug untouched, and even Bella, his cat, had decided to mourn with me, sulking in the corner like she had lost all faith in humanity. But could I blame her? I had been the biggest idiot alive. I lost the ring, the damn ring I was going to propose to Sam with, and instead of talking it out, I let my overthinking drive a wedge between us. Maybe it was the universe's way of telling me something. Perhaps it was a sign that I was an absolute moron. And then Max showed up at my doorstep, looking like he was ready to smack me with whatever object was closest to him. Unfortunately for me, it was my own shoe. You dumbass, he shoved me back. Jeff was right behind him, arms crossed, eyes brimming with pure judgment. Max, maybe don't give him a concussion before we knock some sense into his thick, overthinking skull? I narrowed my eyes at her. My friend, what a traitor. Max ignored her and stormed into my living room area like he paid the rent. I don't know what's going on between you and Sam, but I do know one thing. He's drowning in misery, and you're sitting here acting like some brooding, tragic hero. Jeff scoffed, more like a tragic dumbass. I winced. Gee, thanks. Oh, don't thank me yet. Jeff plopped onto my couch, staring me down. Do you even realize how ridiculous you are for pushing Sam away over a lost ring? It's a piece of metal, Avery. I opened my mouth to argue, but Max cut me off. If you have some deep, dark issues, walk your sorry self to Sam and tell him. If not, let him go. You don't deserve him. My stomach twisted at that thought. Let Sam go? That wasn't an option. My throat closed up. Jeff's patience snapped. Oh my God, enough! You're in love with the man who has been nothing but good to you, and instead of communicating like a functional adult, you're spiraling into self-pity. Sam deserves better. If you're not ready to grow up, then maybe it's high time he moved on. Panic surged through me. No, I exhaled shakily, rubbing my face. It's the ring. I can't stop thinking about it. It was supposed to be perfect, and now it's just gone. Max's expression softened as realization dawned. Oh, Avery, he sighed. Sam's loyalty and your love isn't measured by a damn ring. You're acting like losing it means losing him. That's not how love works. Something in my chest clenched. Max was right. Sam wasn't just my boyfriend, he was my home. His touch soothed my restless thoughts. His laughter brightened every room, and I was too caught up in my own head to see that I was pushing him away. The best thing that had ever happened to me. Max put a hand on my shoulder. If the ring means this much to you, let's go find it. No more moping. You in? Hope flickered. You'd do that? Jeff rolled her eyes. We'd do it to get you off your melodramatic arse. And just like that, the three of us set out on a ridiculous, hopeless mission to find a tiny gold ring in a city that had moved on from the Pride Parade chaos. We retraced every step, searched every street, and checked every possible corner. 3 hours in, exhaustion clung to us, my frustration mounting with every empty-handed moment. My hands trembled as I finally broke down. I was going to propose, I admitted, voice cracking. If I hadn't lost it, I'd be planning a wedding right now, not... My throat tightened. Not this. That was when we heard a voice. Excuse me, son. An elderly woman, a street vendor, smiled kindly at me. Are you looking for this? And there, in her wrinkled palm, was the ring. My ring. My breath hitched. I grabbed it with shaking fingers. Disbelief and pure relief washed over me. Where did you... Found it after the parade, she chuckled. Kept it safe, just in case. Max whooped, clapping me on the back. So, what's the universe saying now? Tears pricked my eyes as I clutched the ring to my chest. My heart pounded with certainty. I grinned through the tears. Win back my love, my Sam. A week in, and all I have been doing is going round and round around an angry Sam. Winning Sam back was proving to be another battle entirely. I called, no answer. I showed up at Max's place to get Sam to talk to me. He slammed the door in my face. I tried singing outside his window at 2 a.m. Max threatened to personally murder me if I tried that stunt again. I tried infiltrating his morning runs, jogging beside him without a word until he finally snapped. Are you planning to run an entire marathon just to annoy me? Both, probably. I grinned sheepishly, but then he sped up. I couldn't keep up. A week of failed attempts later, I was desperate. That's when I had a stupidly brilliant idea. I set up a small, private party at our favorite spot, the restaurant terrace where we had our first every moment together, celebrated after confessing our love to each other. The city lights stretched endlessly below, casting a golden glow over everything. The soft strumming of the guitar played from the speakers, the very song we had danced to under the stars. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine, just like the night. Every detail, every moment had been carefully put together, all for him. I gave the task of bringing Sam here to Max and Jeff. When Sam arrived, his expression was unreadable, but his eyes, they were still my Sam's eyes. The same deep blue that had held me together throughout my worst days. The same warmth I had been aching to feel again. I stepped out, heart hammering against my ribs. Sam, I began, voice shaking. I know sorry is not enough for the amount of hurt you've been through because of me. And I know despite hurting, you just still love me. Just like I love you. And trust me when I say I've never been loved the way you love me, I exhaled shakily. And I've never been an idiot the way I've been with you. Sam's lips twitched, the ghost of a smile almost breaking through. Almost. I pushed you away over a stupid ring. I know you want to punch me right now, but you have always known how I overthink everything. I know this is not an acceptable excuse for my past behavior, yet you're here. Patient, kind, everything I'm not. I let my fear ruin what we had, and I never want to do that again. His gaze softened, his hands clenching and unclenching at his side like he was holding himself back from reaching for me. But still, he stayed silent. I took a step closer, desperate for him to see the truth in my eyes. You make me feel safe, Sam, loved, and I was too scared to believe I deserved that, but I do. And I want it. I want you. Tears welled in Sam's eyes, his breath coming in uneven bursts. Avery. I dropped to one knee and held out the ring. The same ring I was going to propose in the Pride Parade and lost, but now here I am holding it again, my entire world hanging in the balance. Sam, I whispered, my voice breaking. You're my heart, my home, and my future. I lost the ring, but I never want to lose you. Will you marry me? Sam's breath hitched. The world seemed to pause as if even time itself was waiting for his answer. Then, with a choked sob, he dropped down on his knees too, and yanked me closer, before crashing his lips onto mine, pouring every ounce of love, pain, and longing into the kiss. You really thought you could lose me that easily? Sam murmured against my lips, his voice thick with emotion. I grinned, breathless. Had to try and see. A long silence stretched between us. Then finally, he exhaled, a little smile escaping his lips. You're absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I admitted, but I'm your ridiculous. I winked. Sam laughed, shaking his head in exasperation. Of course I'll marry you, you ridiculous man. Jeff and Max, who had been hiding behind and watching, hooted and cheered as the kiss that followed was pure magic. Soft, deep, filled with every unspoken promise we had ever made to each other. The world faded away, and for the first time in a month, everything felt right again. Months later, standing under the open sky, we exchanged vows in an intimate, beautiful ceremony. Close friends and colleagues surrounded us, Jeff and Max watching like proud parents, but at the moment, it was just us. The ring, once lost, now shined on Sam's finger like it was always meant to be there, a symbol not of mistakes, but of how far we had come, of everything we had survived together. As we swayed to our first dance as husbands, Sam leaned in. You didn't have to lose the ring to prove you'd fight for me. Grinning, I pulled him closer. To keep you, I'd lose 1,000 rings. Just don't lose me. Never, I whispered, sealing my promise with another kiss as the music played on, carrying us forever. How did you let your overthinking take over and ruin what could have been? Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.